last time we talked about adding and subtracting fractions, but now I'm going to tell you about multiplying and dividing fractions. So let's say we had 1/2 times 1/2 equals what? So, do you remember the multiplication we learned about a couple episodes ago? So, that can help you in these equations. So we just multiply top to top and bottom to bottom, and you get your answer. So 1 times 1 equals 1, and 2 times 2 equals 4. So 1/2 times 1/2 equals 1/4. So the way multiplying fractions is numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. And numerator is the fancy word in math for the top number of a fraction. Denominator is a fancy word in math that means the bottom number in a fraction. So multiplying fractions is doing the top or numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So remember, we already covered 3 rules. So this is rule number 4. So now, just so you can remember, I'm going to mark this for rule number 4. And remember, adding fractions is just, and adding and minusing fractions is just the bottoms have to be the same, the denominators have to be the same, and then if it's add or minus, you can subtract or add the top. But multiple does not work that way. You have to multiply the bottom to the bottom and the top to the top, or numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. Now we're going to have a multiplying fraction problem to try out. So 12 over 14 multiple 6 over 7. Equals, so 2 times 6 is 12. 12 over 14 times 6 over 7. So if you don't know how to do it still, here's a way to show it. So 14 times 7, 12 times 6. This can show the numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So 12 times 6 equals 72. And 14 times 7 equals 98. Dividing fractions is not the same as multiplying fractions. It's similar, but it is not the same. This will explain rule number 5, dividing fractions. So we're going to start out simple. 1 over 4 divide 1/2. So the rule is you have to turn the second fraction into a reciprocal. Reciprocal is a fancy math word for the denominator going to the numerator, and the numerator going to denominator, or the denominator going to numerator, the numerator to denominator. So that means we're supposed to do, but the second rule is you have to do multiple. So 1/4 times 2/1. So I'm going to show the way of multiplying. So I can show 4 times 1 and 1 times 2. Equals 2/4 equal 1/2. So I'm going to explain how to divide fractions. So dividing fractions is pretty easy, and I'll explain. So you have to turn the second fraction into a reciprocal, and then the rest is just multiplication. So the dividing fractions is pretty simple because the rest of it is just multiplication. Example, (12/14) divide 6/7. So we have to turn 6/7 into its reciprocal, which is, so first 12/14 multiple 7/6. So 12 times 7 and 14 times 6 equals 84 over 84 equals to 1.